Good day, my friends. It's Monday the 12th of November. We had a really good weekend. A little bit of catching up to do. I was helping out down at Pembury Country Park because Binia Cycling Club organised a cyclocross race because it was on Remembrance Sunday, 100 years since the end of World War I. For those of you that aren't from the UK, they named it Poppy Cross, which I thought was a really good name. The event went really well, especially like the under 12, like they have under 6 races, they have like under 12s races, they have like all types of age group categories, but it's just amazing how many kids and youngsters come to do it. You know, the next generation. But I helped out mainly Saturday when we set up the course, so I'm going to roll some footage now of me getting in the way, trying to help out, sort out the course on Saturday. And that's that. Today though, I went for a ride with Anthony, and we just did our usual loop, and we got caught in a really heavy rain shower. And I think like you can probably relate, like this time of year the weather is so changeable and it can like change or drop the hat, and that's what happened today. This is what happened. We had to hide in a bus shelter. So fast forward, it's now the afternoon, it's like nearly 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock this evening. I'm going up to Carmarthen Leisure Centre because we've got a pretty important meeting tonight. So last night I went to the meeting that Welsh Cycling attended with Carmarthen County Council, known as Active Shigar. That's Welsh. Well, active Shigar. If you don't want to know about this, because I'm just going to be talking about the developments that could be happening, I'm not going to tell you everything, obviously, because that's part of the secret. But part of the developments that will be happening in the Carmarthen area over the next few years, and what's happened in the last 3 years. Yeah, if you don't want to hear about that, that's fine. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so we started off the meeting. First of all, we had the attendance of Active Shigar, which had 2 representatives, and then we also had Welsh Cycling through Aled Jones, Rebecca Pitt and John Holt. So they are kind of overseeing what goes on in this part of Wales, part of youth development, both performance and participation. And last night, like we really dug into like what the vision is of clubs and Welsh Cycling in this part of Wales. I feel that like last night, like Binia Cycling Club, we were well represented. There was like 7 or 8 of us there. There was 2 from Towie Riders based in Carmarthen, and which Scott Davis has come from. Many of you will know Scott rides for Team Dimension Data. And we had Goa Riders. Kevin Reese was representative there. So there was like a good showing of, you know, the clubs in this area. We started by talking about like what's happened the last 3 years, and obviously emphasis has been on kind of ranges like between 0 and 7 years of age. And in the last 2 years they managed to get Comanche County Council managed to get 60% of schools to have balance bikes in their schools, and apparently it is sustainable, and the model has been produced whereby the schools have actually been purchasing their own balance bikes. So as well as the ones that Comanche County Council have been funding them with, the schools have been like taking care of it themselves as well, which is great. Something else that's been trialled as well, which has worked, is something called the Cycle Train Kids, or at least I think it's called Cycle Train. My note taking is terrible, by the way. So I've been told that you can Google it, and there's like plenty of videos and stuff on it, like a cycle train. So it's where like kids, they ride to school, but they'll pick up on road. So there'll be like a starting point, there'll be like a car park or something, parents can drop their kids off there, and then it'll be like the car park will have a cycle path at the end of it, and you join that cycle path and the kids can ride to school all on that cycle path. I know they've done it to Bringwyn School, which is not far away from me, in Llanelli, whereby the cycle path literally runs from like the top of the road all the way to the school entrance. The only issue is, of course, that like, you know, the road infrastructure is such that it's really hard to get the paths in running alongside the roads. Like they've put it on a pavement. They have to widen the pavement, but they can't do that any further because you're going into a big residential area, a council estate pretty much, and it's kind of impossible to do that. I mean, well, there must be ways, but you know, they've just not come across it yet. They're only targeting schools with safe routes when it comes to that, so you know, that's not going to reach every single school. But in the first kind of test run that they did from Bryn Aman, it's like a 4 or 5 mile bike ride from Bryn Aman all the way down the cycle path. It's a really nice cycle path to Ammanford. 100 kids in total arrived at the school at the finish on their bikes. I guess the only thing that the issue that we saw with it is you're going to need volunteers to lead the rides. At first they look at like cycling clubs to help out, and then leading from that, you know, it needs to be kind of self-sustainable somehow. In terms of other things, like that's all the notes I took, by the way. That's all I wrote, mainly because the talk was so fascinating. Managed to learn like a fair few things about like the development in the area. Obviously Pembury closed road circuit, which can hold national events now, not just in cycling, but you know, in other sports. There's big things coming to that in the future, the potential of other facilities possibly. You know, there's no details at all yet. It's just it's almost like what, you know, how is it taking so long? Because Pembury Country Park is such a vast area, and I know it's untouched and it's such a great place, and if you're ever in the area you should come down to it and see it, but you know, there is like so much potential there. And you know, we've got like you know, the Tour of Britain that came, that was a big success, or at least we thought it was. And you know, is there something that we can do in the future to host something else like that? You know, whether it be, you know, another stage of the Tour of Britain, or you know, so I mean, I guess a lot of people would be surprised that I even went along and like devoted my evening, like from 5 till 10 o'clock last night, to this. But at the end of the day, like I don't think it's like, you should really try and get involved as much as possible, no matter how old you are, like, I mean, or what your profession is, what your job is. Just because, you know, I ride a bike for a living doesn't mean I can't show up and, you know, be part of a greater cause. So yeah, I took a lot out of that meeting last night, and I wanted to share that with you, whether or not you watched this or not. But if you did, thank you very much. And I'm gonna go inside now because I'm freezing.